Okay, good evening. We are the group 40. Today we are going to share um, our experience in the pedagogical practice. Okay. Well, uh, I am Haider Morantes Mantilla.
I am Milena Duran.
Hey there, I'm Jesus David. Jesus David.
Okay, perfect. Well, today we Ana Milena can start, please.
Thank you. Thank you, classmate. Um, one of the major problems facing education today, and one that has become evident, sorry, or or that I have been able to notice during my internships is the lack of teacher planning and the lack of integration of technological tools, which reflects in meaningful learning in students, motivating them to speak without fear of mistakes and making pronunciation corrections at a certain times. When we don't have clear and specific strategies and students reflect this with a lack of interesting um, interesting in classes and consequently low motivation. Not to mention that inclusion is an important part of our education. We could be understanding it, but but there are so many things and problems that influence educational environments that is our day to be part of the change. It is a problem in the important um, institution of my day to the practice.
Well,
Okay, so in
say
this problem, in this moment, we're trying to understand the real problem here in Colombia. Here in Colombia, in normal school, we can have students with special needs, but we don't have the ability to apply the right strategies for them. So in order to complete this requirement, we need to have a special a process with the teachers and a special design process to ensure the teaching and learning processes with uh, those communities. So nowadays here our educational system has some programs to do it, but we need to send these programs across the entire nation. We need to work together in order to apply these changes. So, as you know, here in Colombia, we're trying to apply different programs such as PR, in Spanish is Proyecto Integrado de Adaptación Curricular, with students with special needs, and DUA with the students with problems with attention. On the other hand, we need to ensure those processes inside all the schools, not only public schools but also private schools.
well, thank you, Ana Milena. Thank you, yeah, this is David. Well, okay, I want to clarify something. My classmate presented the following items, and I will do so as well. Yeah, methodological approach, use of technology, learning assessment, inclusion, student motivation, and English level. Okay, well, a methodological approach. Several methodological strategies adapted to different learning levels were implemented. The communicative approach was the main basis, promoting oral interaction through activities such as simulation dialogues and group discussions. Yeah. For the more basic levels, playful techniques such as role playing and songs were incorporated to facilitate vocabulary acquisition. Okay, digital tools such as interactive platforms, educational applications were integrated to complement the teaching process. Audiovisual research were particularly effective in presenting content in a dynamic and attractive way. The evaluation system was varied and included both formal and informal instruments. Yeah. Clear rubrics were designated to assess performance in projects and oral presentation. Yeah. Writing evaluations, yeah, to demonstrate the knowledge acquired. Inclusion. Inclusive strategies were fundamental to address diversity in the classroom. Yeah, materials and activities were adapted for students with different learning styles and educational needs. Yeah, it maintained motivations was a priority in lesson planning. Yeah, content was related to interests and situations relevant to the students. Yeah, and English proficiency. Different levels of language proficiency were identified among the students from basic to intermediate. Yeah, perceptive skills, for example, reading and listening comprehensions, yeah, were generally more developed than productive skills. Yeah. Okay, well, that is all. Compañero Jesús David, por favor.
Okay, now it's done to present our general document. This was a reflection on this problem before this meeting. So now let's get ready to talk about specific topics here, specific details inside this problem. So now let's begin with this. Teacher support groups. Name teacher support groups. Our topic, basic groups. Okay, now let's begin
my
with
group. Okay, yeah, you can continue, please.
right? Go ahead. Hi there.
Okay, well, my group was DSP, yeah, okay, in the municipality of Los Patios, north of Santander.
My group is for two. The institution Colegio Integrado Divino Niño. I'm from Capitán de Santander.
Okay, I was providing guest teaching sessions to FFB, Colegio Carlos Vicente Rey de Cuesta Santander.
Me? Yes, okay. Two, reason for forming the groups. Main objectives. Design and adapted pedagogical strategies for teach grade B students with special educational needs. Create accessible teaching materials considering limited resources. Promote inclusive contextualized and collaborative English language teaching. Specific challenges the group aims to address.
Okay, yeah, compañero, eso. Okay, what are the specific challenges? Yeah, there are two specific challenges. The first is lack of training in inclusive tools and differentiate strategies. Yeah, and the second is limit time to plan and redesign adaptive materials. Okay, where now we are explaining, yeah, the role, the teaching experience, and the institutions. Okay, well, as you know, I am Haider Andolfo Marantz Mantilla. I was a teacher in training. Yeah, I have a 1 year in teaching experience in the institución educativa Colegio ONC de Novia. Okay, well, Ana Milena, you can continue.
Okay, thank you. Name Ana Milena Duran. The role is teacher. Of teaching my experience is I was 6 months in the institution in municipality Colegio Integrado Divino Niño.
Okay, I've been a teacher during the last 10 years, and now I was applying my practice at Colegio Carlos Vicente Rey, CC de Cuesta Santander.
Okay, well, our partner is David. You can continue with short-term goals.
Okay, for sure. Group goals. Short-term goals designed to adapt activities in English for students with special needs. Develop basic guides and accessible resources. For example, images, captions, and slow audio.
Classmate Ana Milena, please.
Okay. Um, long-term goals. Implement an adapted didactic unit that responds to the needs of students with learning barriers. Systematize the experience and share in the local network of teachers. Continue.
Okay, key focus areas. Okay, yeah. The idea is take to account lesson planning, student engagement, and assessment. Yeah, adaptation of materials and inclusive class planning, differentiate assessment and use of accessible ICT. Yeah, and strategies to increase student engagement. Yeah, well,
Now let's continue with group activities. First one is meeting frequency and duration. Weekly, 1 hour per session. Types of activities. For example, discussions, classroom observations, and journaling. Analysis in classroom cases. Design and testing or adapted materials. Review and concept strategies in the classroom. Main topics. Discuss. Let's continue with. Hi there. Go.
no, Ana Milena, please.
Amelia.
Okay, I continue main topic discussion, educational inclusion with limited research, digital accessibility and use of Genially, Canva, Kahoot, assessment for learning with an inclusive approach. Let's continue.
Well, yeah, challenge face. Okay, obstacles encountered. Yeah, for example, scheduling participation, trust issues. Yeah, the first one is lack of technological resources in the classroom. Yeah, limited time to design differentiate materials, limit initial knowledge about educational inclusion. However, they are addressed. Yeah, use of free and accessible tools, for example, Canva, flashcards, or audios. Yeah, visual and kinesthetic adaptation of activities, and self-training and seeking external advice.
Now, let's talk about evaluation and outcomes. Overall impact on teaching practices. Increases in visual, auditory, and adaptive materials. Increased participation of students with special needs. More conscientious learning for classroom diversity.
Well, personal reflections were, yeah. Well, I realized, in my personal opinion, in my personal experience, I realized that the small sorry, in my materials made a big difference for my students. Yeah. I want to say a phrase. Yeah. Take into account this phrase. Adaptive doesn't mean simplifying. It means making it easier to access. Okay.
Okay, as a teacher, I'm deeply inspired by every small film of my students with special needs in bilingual settings. Even with challenges like insufficient resources, these moments remind me to the incredible potential of inclusion to enrich education and celebrate diversity.
Okay, partners, become aware of knowledge and being a teacher. Everything has a purpose and a mission. Our attention is absorbed like a sponge by curious little minds who ask questions and want to know everything. It is important to establish clear and precise strategies for inclusive education, which demands new change every day.
Okay. And finally, is future improvements. Yeah. Uh, I suggest we suggest to future improvements. Yeah, the first one is link teachers from other areas for interdisciplinary work. Yeah, and develop a specific training in inclusive ICT tools. Okay, well, that is all. This is our document. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Somebody else, harness, classmates.
Okay, classmates, it was a meaningful experience, and we had the opportunity to share about this key problem in the Colombian education. So that's so good.